You know what, guys? It's not been a great day, has it? It's not been a great day, to be honest with you. Welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation. Welcome to the channel that brings you your team every day for free, guys. All you got to do is hit that sub, ring that notification bell. You know what? Let's try and be positive to start off with. Before we really get into it, let's try and be positive to start off with. Okay, so positives, we got a clean sheet. There we go. Positive number one. Positive number two, we won the game. We got 3 points. That's two positives. Positive number three, that's 3 games in a row. 3 victories, 3 clean sheets. There we go. So we've got 3 positives, guys. 3 positives. 3 good things we can try and hang on to. 3 good things that we can kind of, use to save our sanity. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Look, these 3 guys here deserve a little bit of praise as well. I think, we're trying to be positive to start the video off. Jack Butland, just what would we do without Jack Butland? Honestly, what would we do without Jack Butland? Got a great saves today. Stop Motherwell from scoring, otherwise they get the draw or even possibly a victory. Jack Butland is the best summer signing. He's absolutely rock solid at the back. He's a great shot stopper. He comes for crosses. You can see him at times losing his rag with the defense like he was today. You can see him shouting and bellowing at them. Look, he's been fantastic. And I'll be honest with you, we can say what we want, but he's kind of saving his manager's job a little bit at the moment. Even that PSV game that we were humiliated against a very average PSV team. I mean, let's call them what they actually are. I mean, look what Arsenal did to them during the week, and then Arsenal go and draw with Tottenham today. So Arsenal not a particularly great team. They're not a great team, but they humiliated PSV. So what does that really say about them? They're an average team. John Lundstrom did. Look, I'm someone who calls John Lundstrom out, and look, I love the fact that he's proven me wrong. I love the fact that we're getting John Lundstrom of a few seasons ago back. I don't take pleasure in bad performances. I don't want players to go out there and perform badly. I call out Searle Dessers. I criticise James Tavernier and Boran Barisic this year. But look, at the end of the day, I'm going to praise Lundstrom. He was brilliant today. He did really, really well. He fought for the ball, got the stonking tackles. Tried to drive the team forward at times in the second half, especially. But he was the only one in that midfield that was. Sam Lammers showed some really good touches. Wasn't brilliant, wasn't terrible. Probably was about the 3rd player in that. So look, they're the 3 players. We'll take some 3 positives from that. Now we could finish the video there, and we could say that's it, positive. There we go. We leave it positive. But we can't be really. We've got to be honest, and as fans, we have to be honest. We have to be honest about our team. We have to be honest about what we see. We have to kind of talk about a team in a very honest fashion. And I'll be truthful when I say that was dire today. And look, there'll be some Rangers fans out there, no doubt, that will find the positive in it, that will say, look, we won, stop moaning, stop whinging. Yeah, we did win, but look, that performance was appalling today. You perform like that against that lot from across the city, they will hand our arses to us on a plate. They will absolutely smash us. We play like that against that lot from across the city, it will be 4-5-6-0. Guarantee it. It's going to happen. You play like that in Europe against a good European team. There's Liverpool in the Europa League, for example. They'll absolutely hammer us playing like that. And fortunately, what's even more, what makes it more annoying and irritating is the fact that we look quite good in the Europa League during the week. And then we turn that performance in, and we can't claim to be tired. And there was a lot of players starting today who didn't play any part in the Europa League game on Thursday. And Scott Wright starting, I don't understand that move at all. I really don't get it. I get there's got to be rotation. I get that you've got to give players minutes. I get that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, why? Scott Wright was a player that, I was watching CJ Novo earlier, and he said, this is the guy we took to Turkey twice to try and get rid of, and now we're playing him. Why? I know we're paying his wages. I know he's only in the European squad to top up the Scottish numbers. I didn't understand at all. Really didn't get Matondo looked lively when he was on. Then Matondo goes off injured, and Michael Beale goes to 3 at the back. Now, look, yes, a lot of us have called for 3 at the back, and perhaps try it out, see if it makes a difference. But you go 3 at the back, and to be honest with you, the changes then that went from that just didn't make any sense. He went Lammers and Dessers up top, and he went Scott Wright into midfield. Well, Scott Wright's not a central midfielder. That's not the position he can play. So I didn't understand that at all. And you go as well. You're going into that game then, with effectively going forward. At times 3 central defenders and 2 defensive midfield players against Motherwell at home. At the end of the game, in the last 15 minutes or so, there was 9 defensive players on the pitch for Rangers. 9. There was only 2 attacking players on the pitch at home to Motherwell. And from the 76th minute, we started wasting time. We started doing what we deride teams at Ibrox for doing. We deride the Kilmarnocks, the Livingstons, the St Johnstons for coming to Ibrox and putting 10 behind the ball and wasting time and hitting the long ball over the top. And that's what we did. We did everything we criticised other teams for. We put effectively 9 men behind the ball, and we smacked it long to Kamar Roof to chase, and we wasted time. We did a St Johnston, we did a Livingston, we did a Green at Morton, for want of a better analogy. But at the end of the day, it's not acceptable. Look, I could take it. Look, I could take a scrappy 1-0 if there'd been signs of progress there over the whole season as a whole in the league. There hasn't. There has not been a sign of progression. It's just, you look at that start of that game and it's slow, ponderous passing with no aim, nothing there. No accuracy in the passing. I think there was even a spell where the ball literally went from Rangers to Motherwell to Rangers to Motherwell to Motherwell to Rangers, and it just nobody could keep hold of the ball. And I'll be honest with you, if Motherwell had some strikers, that if Motherwell still had Kevin Van Veen, they'd have won that game today. They'd have probably scored. Tavernier clears one off the line. Butler makes a save. I think Connor Goldson cleared one off the line. Look, you've got Van Veen up front. They win that game. I think that's honest opinion. It's not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing for, but it genuinely was awful today. And Michael Beale, the substitutions that he made 0 sense. You take off a winger, put on a defender, and go 3 at the back. Don't get it. You put on another defensive midfield player. You play with 9 defensive players at the end of a game against Motherwell. Look, if we were 1-0 up and we were playing Atletico Madrid, FC Barcelona, Liverpool in the Europa League, if we were playing that lot from across the city, if we were playing, I don't know, in a cup final, you could kind of understand it to some degree. But it's Motherwell. I know Motherwell have done well this season. I know they've been a decent team this season. I know they've worked hard this season. But it's Motherwell at home in the league. I don't know. Look, I haven't, and you'll struggle to find this on any video. You can go back and check it out. I've never called for Michael Beale's head. I've never said that the guy should be sacked. What I have said is that he needs to be put under pressure and he needs to have questions asked of him. Because at this moment in time, what he is producing is not acceptable for a Rangers team. It is not up to the standards that as fans and as a club, more importantly, we require from our manager and from our players. Now, people can criticize the players. Of course, you can criticize the players, and I'll show you my player ratings in a minute. And with the exception of Lammers, Lundstrom, and Butland today, you can't really let any of the players pass. Yes, Dessers scored a goal, but Dessers knew nothing about that goal. Go back and watch it. Matondo hits the shot, hits him, and goes in. That's 2 now that have hit him and gone in, and it still hasn't helped him be any better or score goals. And anyone who thinks that it was a shot from Dessers, it wasn't. It hit him. Watch the replay. It was not. Dessers knew nothing about that. I'm sorry. You could have stood my mum there and it could have hit her and gone in. I mean, that's literally what he knew about it. But it's just beggars belief, guys, that we can play that against Motherwell. It really does, and it beggars belief that that this is what we are now having to accept as Rangers fans, and it isn't acceptable. It's not acceptable from Rangers. It's a poor performance. It's a very poor performance. I watched David Edgar from Heart and Hand earlier, and his assessment was grim and awful. And I've got to agree with you, David. You're spot on with what you said. TJ Novo slaughtered them. Rabble slaughtered them. Club at 22 also, absolutely slaughtered them. There's nobody saying anything positive about them. And if you're saying something positive about them, I don't know what team you're watching. I genuinely don't know what you're watching, because this is not Rangers. Look, you have Graham Souness in charge of that team today. You have Walter Smith in charge of that team today. There's no way they accept that. There's no way they turn out that performance. It's just average beyond belief. This is. I mean, player grades wise, this is what I've gone for in terms of player grades. I gave Jack Butland 9 out of 10. I thought Jack was absolutely excellent, as always. Thank God for Jack Butland. I mean, I think, without Jack Butland, we'd have lost a lot more points, wouldn't we? Tav was appalling for. Yes, he clears the ball off the line, but his defensive skills again let him down. Goldson 6, Davis 6, solid enough. Barisic 5, again, just not really out the races today. Lundstrom 8, well done, John Lundstrom, a good performance today, battling performance. Cifuentes 5, I thought he looked frightened. I thought he looked lost. I didn't think he knew what he looked like. He knew what he was doing. He is struggling. He is massively struggling at this moment in time. And I suppose, yes, you've got to take into account we've got no Danilo, we've got no Raskin, we've got no Cantwell. And that is obviously a massive miss. Of course, it's a massive miss. 3 of our best players, and it is going to be a miss. You take Kyogo, you take Callum McGregor, you take Carter Vickers out of the Celtic team. They're going to struggle. But, it's not an excuse, and it shouldn't be an excuse. Not when these are players that Michael Beale has gone and spent a lot of money on, and it is his team. It's Beale's team. He's the one that's accountable for these players. You can blame the players, of course you can, but at the end of the day, they're his players. He paid the money. He chose these players. Lammers 7. I thought Lammers did all right. Matondo 5. Dessers 3. The guy's a joke. Scott Wright 4. Seamer 5, Roof 5, Rice 5, Jack 5, Suter 5. I think it's difficult to grade the substitutes, but look, what we need to do. Do you know I'm struggling? I am struggling for words today. At that, and it's anyone think we've lost? Where is this going? Everything we lost, but we haven't lost. We won, and we've got 3 points, and we're up to 3rd. But like I said, that's not acceptable. It's just not acceptable from a Rangers team. We go again, obviously, on Wednesday against Livingston in the Cup. Hopefully, a much better performance upcoming from the boys in Royal Blue. Thank you so much for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. As always, guys, if you've owned your sub, please hit that sub, ring that notification bell. 2 things always I need you to do for me. Number 1, smash the like. And number 2, remember, we are the people.